Sometimes the past doesn't stay buried. It whispers through the wind, rides with the horses, and lingers in every corner of Heartland Ranch. In Season 19, Episode 3, Ghosts, those whispers grow louder. The people we love, the choices we made, the pain we thought we left behind, they all return, not to haunt us, but to remind us who we are. There's something special about Heartland. It's not just the open skies or the sound of hooves across the fields. It's the feeling that every fence post, every horse stall, carries a story. Stories of love, of loss, of second chances. Over the years, we've seen the Fleming-Bartlett family go through it all: heartbreak, triumph, new beginnings, and the constant pull of the land that raised them. But this time, in Season 19, Episode 3, the past finds a way to ride back home. The episode title, Ghosts, says it all. It's not about monsters or shadows, it's about memories. The kind that don't let go easily. Maybe it's a face from long ago or a decision that still feels heavy after all these years. In Heartland, every smile hides a story, and every tear reminds us of how far we've come. This episode brings those emotions right to the surface. As the morning sun rises over the ranch, Amy feels something in the air. It's quiet, almost too quiet. The horses sense it too, shifting restlessly in their stalls. There's peace in Heartland, but it's the kind of peace that comes right before something changes. You can almost feel it, like a storm that hasn't yet shown its clouds. And while the ranch seems calm, each member of the family carries their own ghosts. Jack still remembers old friends and the mistakes that shaped him. Tim tries to move forward, but some memories refuse to stay in the past. And Amy, she's learning that healing isn't just about helping horses. Sometimes it's about facing your own pain, even when you thought you'd already left it behind. In Ghosts, Heartland doesn't just tell a story. It opens a window into memory, the kind that never truly fades. Every character feels that pull of yesterday, and in those quiet, unspoken moments, we see what Heartland is really about: love that endures. Even when time tries to erase it, this episode reminds us that ghosts aren't always meant to scare us. Sometimes they appear to guide us, to remind us of what we've lost and what we still have left to hold on to. As the wind moves through the fields and the horses lift their heads to the horizon, we know something is coming. A revelation, a reckoning, and maybe a chance to make peace with the past. The sun spills over the hills, painting Heartland in soft gold. It's a peaceful morning, the kind that makes you forget that anything could ever go wrong. The horses graze quietly in the fields. The air is cool and still, and yet, something feels off. There's a heaviness beneath the calm, like the earth itself is holding its breath. That's how Ghosts begins. Not with chaos, but with silence. A silence that hides the truth. Amy walks through the stables, her hand brushing against the wooden walls that have seen a lifetime of memories. Her eyes catch the light, thoughtful and distant. Maybe it's the wind, or maybe it's something deeper. A feeling that something, or someone, from her past is trying to reach her. She doesn't speak it aloud, but you can see it in her eyes. That quiet unease. That flicker of something familiar, something forgotten. At the same time, Jack stands on the porch, coffee in hand, watching the horizon. His weathered face softens for a moment as he looks out over the ranch, the land he's fought for, the family he's guided. But even in his stillness, there's a hint of sadness. Jack has lived long enough to know that peace never lasts forever. The past always finds a way to ride back home, no matter how many fences you build to keep it out. Tim arrives soon after, his truck kicking up dust as he pulls into the yard. He's restless, pacing, carrying news that could shake the quiet morning into something unforgettable. He doesn't want to say it, but his eyes tell the story first. There's been a call, a message, a memory waking up after years of silence. Something that pulls at the edges of the Fleming family once more. Inside the house, Lou feels it too, that strange shift in the air. Papers spread out across the kitchen table, phone in hand, but her focus drifts. Family has always been her anchor, but lately, she's been caught between holding on and letting go. The word ghosts isn't just a metaphor for her. It's a mirror. Every choice she's made, every path she's taken, leads her back to this place, to this moment. And then, as the camera moves through the house, past the family photos on the wall, past the sunlight spilling through the windows, a sound breaks the silence. A faint echo. A door creaks open by itself. Not out of fear, but as if the house itself is remembering something. The atmosphere shifts from peaceful to uneasy, from calm to charged with memory. Heartland has always been a story about family. But in this episode, family becomes the bridge between the living and the remembered. The ghosts here aren't figures in the dark. They're moments, regrets, and promises that still have something left to say. Ghosts isn't about being haunted by what's gone. It's about finally facing it, because at Heartland, the past never really disappears, just waits for the right moment to be heard again. Every soul at Heartland carries a shadow. Some are memories, some are mistakes, and some are the faces we still see when we close our eyes. In Ghosts, those shadows finally step into the light. Amy Fleming feels at first that quiet tug at her heart. The horses are uneasy, and she can't shake the feeling that they sense something she can't see. Amy has always believed that every horse tells a story, but this time, the story feels personal. It's as if the ranch itself is whispering to her, reminding her of moments she tried to forget, the people she's lost, the promises she never got to keep. She spends her morning tending to a new horse, one that seems frightened by everything. But the more Amy looks into its eyes, the more she sees her own fear reflected back. Maybe the horse isn't the only one haunted. Maybe healing others has made her forget how to heal herself. Then there's Jack Bartlett, steady, wise, and weathered like the land he loves. But even the strongest hearts have cracks. For Jack, the ghosts aren't people. They're choices. The long nights when he thought he'd lost everything. The quiet years when he buried his grief under work and whiskey. Now, as he watches his family grow and change, he feels time catching up to him. He's proud, yes, but there's something else too. A longing, a wondering about what could have been. Jack knows that ghosts don't always come in dreams. Sometimes they visit in the silence between words. In the spaces between generations, Tim Fleming faces his ghosts in a different way. He's always been the storm, fierce, unpredictable, loud, but even storms fade, and when they do, all that's left is the damage they leave behind. Tim has spent years trying to be better, to be the father he once wasn't. But the past doesn't forget easily. A phone call from someone he never expected shakes him to his core. Suddenly, the man who always charged ahead doesn't know where to go. His temper hides his fear, his strength masks his guilt. Deep down, Tim's biggest ghost isn't a person, it's himself. From a time when he wasn't ready to be the man his family needed, and Lou, Fleming always balancing a world that never stops spinning, her ghosts wear different faces. Some are dreams she put aside for the sake of family. Others are the moments she missed because she was too busy holding everyone else together. Lou's life looks perfect from the outside, but inside she's restless. Her reflection reminds her of the choices that built her success and the ones that cost her peace. When she looks around the house and sees old photos, she realizes something powerful. Ghosts don't only come from pain. Sometimes they come from love that never got the ending it deserved. Each of them walks through the same land, but each step echoes a different memory. Together, their ghosts weave a story that isn't about fear. It's about forgiveness. It's about learning that we don't move on from the past. We learn to walk beside it. In Ghosts, the characters of Heartland remind us that even the strongest hearts are haunted. But maybe, just maybe, that's what makes them whole. Not all ghosts wear chains or walk through walls. Some live inside us, in our memories, our regrets, our what-ifs. In Heartland, Season 19, Episode 3, Ghosts, the word isn't about fear. It's about truth. The kind that follows you quietly, no matter how far you ride. Ghost reminds us that the past never really disappears. It lives in the scent of old wood in the barn, in the sound of laughter that once filled the house. In the look Jack gives when he thinks no one's watching. Every corner of Heartland holds a story, And this episode lets those stories breathe again. Not to scare, but to heal. Because sometimes the only way to move forward is to look back, even if it hurts. For Amy, ghosts mean unfinished lessons. Every horse she saves reflects a piece of herself that still needs mending. When she looks into their eyes, she doesn't just see fear. She sees the reflection of her own pain, her late husband, her doubts about being enough. But instead of running from it, Amy learns something powerful. Ghosts don't come to haunt us. They come to teach us. They come to remind us that love never really leaves. It just changes shape. Tim's ghosts are the echoes of choices he can't undo. The nights he missed, the words he never said, the people he pushed away. But Ghosts gives him a chance not to erase the past, but to make peace with it. To finally look his younger self in the eye and say, "You did your best with what you knew." Sometimes forgiveness doesn't come from others. It comes from finally forgiving the person in the mirror. And for Lou, ghosts are the reminders of what matters most. Her ambitions, her dreams, her responsibilities, they've built her world. But they've also distanced her from her heart. In this episode, Lou begins to see that ghosts don't only live in loss, they live in the choices we outgrow, in the dreams we once chased but never caught. And as she faces them, she learns that peace isn't about letting go of the past, it's about learning to live alongside it. The true message of ghosts is simple but profound. We all carry memories that whisper to us when the world goes quiet. But those whispers don't have to haunt us. They can guide us. They can remind us of the love that shaped us, the mistakes that taught us, and the strength that kept us standing. At Heartland, the ghosts are not curses. They're companions. They are the echoes of everything that made this family who they are. And as the episode unfolds, it becomes clear the past isn't something to run from. It's something to ride with, side by side, into whatever tomorrow brings. The calm never lasts long at Heartland. Beneath the quiet skies and soft winds, something begins to shift, like a storm gathering miles away, waiting for the right moment to break. In Ghosts, that moment comes slowly, creeping in between heartbeats. You don't hear it at first, but you feel it. Amy stands by the paddock, her hands resting on the fence, watching a restless horse pace in circles. Its eyes dart from shadow to shadow, as if it sees something she can't. The ranch is still, yet the air feels heavier, charged with memory. A flash of movement in the corner of her eye makes her turn. No one's there. Just the empty field, the whisper of wind through the grass. But Amy knows better. It's not fear she feels, it's recognition. The past has found her again. Inside the house, the tension grows quietly. Lou tries to focus on her paperwork, but her hands keep shaking. The phone on the table buzzes with a message she doesn't want to read. A name she thought she'd never see again. The ghosts of old relationships, unspoken words, missed chances, they all come rushing back in one simple notification. She hesitates, torn between curiosity and dread, knowing that opening that message might open something else too, an old wound she never healed. Meanwhile, Jack feels the weight of it all settling on his shoulders. He's out by the barn, fixing a loose board, pretending the world isn't changing. But he can sense it. He's lived through enough loss to recognize when something unseen is stirring. The sound of hooves echoes in the distance, faint but steady, and for a brief moment, he swears he hears a familiar voice, soft, distant, calling his name. He stops, frozen, eyes fixed on the horizon. It can't be real. But then again, what is real in a place built on memory? Tim's tension hits hardest. He's been trying to hold it together, but the call he got earlier won't leave his mind. Someone from his past, someone tied to a chapter he thought was over, is coming to Heartland. The thought makes his stomach twist. Old guilt rises like smoke. Every step he takes feels heavier, every breath shorter. This isn't the kind of ghost you can talk away. This one comes with consequences. The walls of the ranch seem to hold their breath as the evening sets in. The golden light fades into a deep, restless blue. You can almost hear the land exhale, carrying with it the secrets everyone's been avoiding. The flicker of a lantern light, the distant cry of an owl, the sound of wind rattling the stable doors. It's all part of the same unspoken rhythm. Something is coming. Something that will change everything. Heartland has always been about strength, love, and healing. But in this episode, we see that healing sometimes demands confrontation. You can't run from your ghosts forever. Eventually they catch up. And when they do, they don't come to destroy you. They come to ask a question. Are you ready to forgive yourself? By the time the night settles over the ranch, each member of the family knows that the past has arrived. The phone calls, the silences, the dreams, they all point to one truth. The ghosts of Heartland are no longer waiting in the shadows. They've come home. Night has fallen over Heartland. The fields are wrapped in silver light, the horses quiet, their breath rising like mist in the cold. The ranch feels alive, not with noise, but with memory. Every sound, every shadow carries meaning. And in that stillness, the truth begins to surface. Amy stands under the stars, her face calm but her heart racing. The same horse that once trembled now stands beside her, peaceful at last. Its fear has melted into trust. And maybe that's what this night was always meant to teach her, that ghosts don't disappear when you fight them. They fade when you understand them. She realizes that what she thought was haunting her was really guiding her. Every mistake, every tear, every goodbye, they were all leading her here. To this moment of quiet peace, inside, Jack sits by the fire, the light flickering against his weathered face. He holds an old photo, a memory frozen in time. For years he thought letting go meant forgetting, but now he sees it differently. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past. It means forgiving it. It means loving it enough to stop trying to rewrite it. He smiles faintly, a kind of smile only wisdom can bring. Tired, tender, full of grace, Tim steps outside. The cold wind hitting his face, sharp and cleansing. The message he dreaded has been read. The voice he avoided has been heard. It didn't break him. It didn't undo him. It reminded him that redemption doesn't come from running, it comes from staying. For once, he doesn't need to hide behind anger or pride. He just breathes, and for the first time in a long time, feels enough. Lou watches from the window, her reflection caught in the glass. Behind her is the family she fought to protect, and in front of her, the world she built. She realizes she doesn't have to choose between them. She doesn't have to silence her heart to be strong. Her ghosts, the missed birthdays, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, they're not her enemies. They're proof that she cared. Proof that she loved deeply, even when it hurt. The air around Heartland feels different now. Lighter, freer. The ghosts that once lingered have found peace, not because they vanished, but because they were finally seen. That's the beauty of this story. It's not about fear, it's about understanding. It's about learning that the things we run from are often the very things that help us find our way home. As the camera drifts above the ranch, the light from the house glows warm against the night. The faint sound of laughter rises, soft, real, familiar. It's the sound of life continuing, no matter what came before. The narrator's voice lowers, calm and reflective. Ghosts aren't here to haunt us. They're here to remind us that love never truly leaves. It changes form, but it never fades. And sometimes, to find peace, we just have to open the door when the past comes knocking. A heartbeat of silence follows, then the screen fades to black. Words appear slowly across the screen. Heartland, Season 19. Episode 3, Ghosts. It's only on CBC, where every story still has something left to say. The voice should feel human. Steady and soulful, not robotic or overly dramatic. Think of a narrator who has lived through loss and healing. Someone who speaks softly but carries weight in every word. Tone, calm, reflective, slightly nostalgic. Pacing, slow enough to let emotions breathe. Pause between key sentences for effect. Delivery. Emphasize emotional contrasts. Warmth in lines about love. Stillness in lines about memory. And slight trembling during moments of tension. Avoid overacting. The power should come from quiet truth, not volume. Visual style and composition, the visuals should never show faces directly instead. Tell the story through motion, texture, and nature. Lighting, Use golden hour tones for morning scenes, dusky blue for emotional moments, and warm amber for endings. Camera movements, slow pans, soft zooms, drone shots of the ranch. And lingering focus on details, a hand brushing a horse's mane, steam rising from a coffee mug, sunlight reflecting off old photos. Transitions, gentle crossfades, match cuts between past and present visuals, for example. Young Amy's hand on a horse blending into present day, Amy doing the same. Color palette, earthy tones, browns, soft greens, warm oranges, muted blues. Everything should feel natural and timeless. Symbolic visual motifs. Heartland is about emotion through environment. Let the visuals echo that. Horses represent freedom, healing, and unspoken understanding. The wind, symbol of change and memory. Use wind effects to bridge emotional beats. Photographs, old letters, represent ghosts of the past. Slow zooms on them create nostalgia without showing faces. Lanterns and firelight represent warmth, home, and hope, the living heart of the ranch, even in darkness. Doors and windows, use them metaphorically. A door creaking open signals the past returning. A window opening shows acceptance.